Hello, and welcome to Lunchtime with Dr. Nadine. I am so excited to have you here with us today and our special guest, Ava. So, I'll tell you a little bit about Ava. Ava is joining us today. I will tell her to tell you where she's joining us from because where she's joining us from today has a lot of excitement. So I'll tell you about what she does, then she's going to tell you where she is and a little more about her. So Ava is an ostracism and inclusion counselor. She has created a system called Navigating Success, the Navigating Ostracism Success Formula, and she helps and empowers women who have experienced ostracism in their lives to navigate and overcome it so that they can live life up and really live out their true potential. So, Ava, it is such a blessing to have you here with us today. Tell our viewers, number one, viewers, as you're coming in, let us know in the chat where you are joining us from. We would love to know who's here with us. So, let us know in the chat, where are you joining us from? So Ava knows who's here, who's supporting, who's excited. But Ava, tell our viewers, tell our listeners, tell those who are joining us for lunch today a little more about you and specifically today where you're joining us from and what's happening there right now.
Okay, I am so excited to be here. I'm actually home because we have our carnival season now, and today is Carnival Monday, and there's a lot going on around me. I was just telling Dr. Collins that I'm not sure we're going to be able to hear ourselves soon because there was a band, a rhythm section starting up practice to start the noise nearby us. So I was just telling her, just brace yourself. So she said, look, if it starts, we are going to be dancing. So in true form, hello from Trinidad and Tobago. If you hear the noise, join in. No feel, no how. I wouldn't mind either. So I'm glad to have you here. Those who are joining us, I'm glad to have you here. And I'm very excited for this program that we're about to have. So let me hear from Dr. Collins now.
Yes, so guys, I'm so excited. So Ava, yes, joining us from the land of Trinidad and Tobago, where today it's Carnival Monday. So it's a lot of excitement. You might hear a little bit of the still pan happening there. We having lunch. So let's just enjoy the little movements. So Ava, we're so excited. Ava, we're here today to feature you and just the work that God has called you to do. So we have Jamila joining us from the UK. We have somebody joining us from Trinidad there. Based on the platform where you're joining us from, we're not always able to see the name. So we're excited to have Trinidad in the house. We have UK in the house. If you join us, let us know where you're joining us from. So Ava,
Yes.
talk to us a little bit about what brought you into my world, because we're going to talk about your story and what brought you here on Lunchtime. But let's start, like, what brought you into my world? What happened? What was missing? What were you looking for?
Well, it started back in 2021. And I really, really regret every time I talk about it, regret not starting sooner. I got emails from Dr. Collins about the program, and I was in a place where I was all over the place. And I felt as if I felt listless. I felt like my life wasn't going anywhere. I felt like I needed some sort of a direction, some sort of a purpose. So I had my discovery call with Dr. Collins in 2021 in November. And I just wanted a quick fix. I wanted her to tell me, listen, do this, and that would happen. And I tell her, I felt like Naaman when Elisha told him to go wash in the Jordan. I mean, I didn't want to hear that. I wanted her to tell me what she did, and I wanted to do that to get there. I wanted a quick fix. So when I didn't get that, I procrastinated a bit. And again, that listlessness came back to me. And I said, look, let me do what she told me to do. She told me about the certified prayer counselor course. Of course, I didn't see myself as a certified prayer counselor. I couldn't see myself there. But I said, look, if this is what she went through and got to where she is today, by the grace of God, I can do this. And let me tell you, I have not looked back since. If it is that you are procrastinating, do not. The certified prayer counselor, I could, Dr. Collins could tell you, I did it, and then I did it again, and then I did it again and again. So and I did it the other day again. Why? Because every time you do the certified prayer counselor course, there are modules in there that apply to your life on a daily basis, and something clicks every single time for me, and I didn't blink. I don't regret it. And the course that we signed up for afterwards had the CPC in it, so some people got it, but I went and I paid for it, and I am milking it for all that it is worth. And folks, don't procrastinate. Get on board. If it is you want to start there, start there. My prayer life went wow, 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 and it continues to go wow. So don't procrastinate. Get on.
Ava, I think honestly, I think you deserve a trophy for the certified prayer counselor class because I don't know anybody who has done that course as many times as you. I know when you were in the speaker program, we had counted 8 times already,
No,
and now
it's
you said you did it again.
I did it. So it's
And so,
probably about two more times because I always feel I missed something. And then the other thing is with the journal, the prayer journal,
mhm,
that makes me say, okay, if I got this result, there's something that I missed. So I go back and I go back in the modules and I come back up again and
mm,
something else clicks.
wow.
Don't procrastinate. If it is that there is some issue that you think you're having, that you want it sorted out, and you're thinking, maybe, no, don't do it. I am telling you, I regret because 2021 will be 2023 now. Can you imagine if I had started in 2021, where I would have been now? I know I could have been further, and I don't want you to be in the situation that I am in, where I'm thinking, oh my goodness, why didn't I do this before? If it is that you're on the fence about any of the programs, don't. Get into one, and the light starts to come, and the wows go and go and go. And I have no regrets except that I didn't start sooner. All
Listen,
right.
if I'm listening to you and I'm like, I couldn't pay somebody to actually say these things you say. And I know I cannot stop you because I just know your passion around that first
It
step.
is. It is. It's so enlightening. And I didn't expect. Now, I went in procrastinating because I said, oh, yeah, maybe. And then when it starts to hit, especially with the journals, and you're seeing that you're living in answered prayer, folks, listen and don't think, I don't have the money now. And it is not about the money. If you make it about the money, the enemy is going to make it about the money too.
Mercy.
Listen to me.
Shots
Get
fired.
into that miracle mindset. Listen, he makes a way even where there seems to be no way. Don't procrastinate. Don't think about it. Just do it. And if you put God first, He will never come in second. I promise you. All right? I promise you.
Listen, you just fired one massive shot there. You said if you make it about the money, the enemy will make it about the money. This is just crazy.
No,
But it's true. But
it's
the thing is, Ava, it was such a blessing working with you for in the program because I know that it took you a minute to get there. We had that discovery call, and I know you were interested based on something that you said about your spiritual life. And I said, well, that might be a good place for you to start.
yes.
Because you're interested in your spiritual development, how about maybe just doing the prayer class? And you
Yes.
were like, the prayer class? Because I guess you were a little disappointed because you wanted more. And I'm just saying, just start there. It took a few months, and sometime in 2022, you reached out to me. You said, I'm doing the prayer class right now. After that prayer class was done, you were like, why did I take so long to do this? This is what I needed. And you began to tell your sisters,
Oh,
your your friend. What
I
was that like for you? I mean, you did talk about, and like I said, I think honestly, we need to, and hold me accountable. We need to give you a trophy. We need to get a trophy to you because nobody has done that certified prayer counsel class more than you. You take the cake on that one, you take everything on it, right? So you went through that.
mhm.
And that now gave you motivation for more. Talk to us about how did that prayer class shift so that you now came into the speaker program? What shifted?
People started seeing the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know that I was, because be careful when you pray for stuff like patience and um, Luke 2:52. I keep praying that over and not recognizing what I am praying for, right? Luke 2:52 says, and Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. And
Mm-hmm.
when I pray that I increase in,
Mm-hmm.
in favor, and it just, he does it. He just does it, and you don't even realize he's doing it. And because I'm a person, I kind of shy away from limelight, because it happened where people who I don't even relate to, like, they ask you, you're doing something different, you're lighter, you don't complain so much, and you talk so much about have faith and whatever, and you don't even realize you're saying it because you're living in answered prayer, and you're living the wow, and the people seeing the wow and want to know what's the wow about, and you have to end up telling them, well, I did this course, and you start to kind of discount the course because you can't believe that. Well, maybe it can't be that. Be careful what you pray for, and understand that this man works. He works. And when he started to work, I said, look, if this course gave me this amount, what else? I started to ask for what else. And Dr. Collins spoke about the book. She spoke about the speaker mentorship course. I didn't think I was a speaker. Like I said, I don't see myself as a counselor. I don't see myself as this big speaker. But hello, here I am speaking.
So talk to us about that, right? So now that prayer class, because I remember you reaching out to me and say, okay, I need my sister to do this, I need my daughter to do this. Anybody that's close to me, I know they need to do this class, because you were like, this is just crazy insane. And what's next for me? And so now we have you now in the speaker mentorship program. You came in with an idea of what you wanted to probably speak about.
Yes.
And then God showed up and
Listen,
totally redirected everything that you
listen.
had initially started doing. What was that like for you? Because I
Welcome.
remember you wanted to talk about housing.
Yeah, and I did. It's because, I mean, that was something that was, it still is near and dear to me.
Mhm,
And it's still something that's an issue. But my story about this ostracism and what I went through, I didn't think that it was something that I wanted to talk about.
mhm,
And I tried at the last minute to twist it and to make a complete turn back to my original, but there was something there. And when the pain started to come out about that ostracism that I experienced, I said, maybe it is time for me to talk about it, and maybe it is time for me to put it out there, because as much as it's a taboo, um, in every circle. I mean, it's not just religious; it's in social. When you do the research, you'd see it happens in the workplace. It's so broad, and it hits. It's a pain point for so many persons that you don't even realize it. And when you start to talk about it, you hear other people saying, "Yeah, hey, that's something that we don't talk about. Hey, maybe it's time." And
mhm.
I mean, there is still that apprehension in me, because I mean, I don't talk about it as much, but be- as the course came and as the opportunity came, I embraced it. You would know how hard it was for us talking about it. Even sometimes when I have to do this story, I'm doing this story and I'm putting it on YouTube soon. I mean, I'm scared, but I'm
But
doing it.
we want the audience to know what we're actually talking about. So you're talking about ostracism in general, but we want to know a little bit about your background. Like, what is it because number one, you did not want to speak about ostracism. It was nowhere on your radar. You were
Not
about housing, an excellent way to probably help other people. But God had a different plan and brought us into this space of ostracism, particularly religious ostracism, and your story. So talk to us briefly about what was that story that now hinges on that signature talk of yours.
well. I actually, when I was in college, I was sexually assaulted by my then um, boyfriend. I had recently gotten out of a relationship, and so he was like a few weeks into the relationship. And when I told him that I wanted to end that relationship, he got upset. We were out, and he decided to take me home. And but when we got to where I was, my gate, he sped past my gate, and he started to drive erratically and threatened to end our lives. And then he drove to a deserted place and he raped me. And as a result of that rape, um, things just started to go down. And I sat there like lost. And then out of the blue, he just says, "Listen, you're pregnant now, and now you would have to marry me because that is the law in the Christian church for persons who are pregnant out of wedlock. You'll have to marry me." And true to form, I mean, I did get pregnant, and that was where the ostracism started. When you thought that, okay, this is the worst of it, oh my goodness, the
Mm,
ostracism started. And it started in my own church, in my own community, even some of my own relatives started
mm,
to ostracize me because of what happened to me. And you
mhm,
think, no, it's supposed to be the other way around. But no, it's not. It actually happens and continues to happen when persons with my experience go through this in this day and age.
mhm,
When you think about it, I mean, I have to say something. I can't not let this pass and say, well, oh, it happened to me, and well, and oh, and no. We have to put it as full stop somewhere. And I'm thankful that I'm getting the opportunity
mhm,
to be a person to put a stop to that at some point in time. Now, and when my video comes out on YouTube, I hope that it would reach somebody who's experiencing this and know that you are not alone, and
mhm,
there is a way. I have come through it, and I am shining. I am here as an example to tell you you can navigate it. It is not a simple thing, but it's something that you can do, and it's powerful steps that you can take to get out of it and to navigate it. I promise you.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, I heard the story before, I knew the story, but just hearing it again in real time, it's still emotionally, kind of like dreadful just
It
to
is.
think of somebody going through that. And so you went through that bad experience. Thank you so much for just braving it and sharing, because I know it's not easy. I'm absolutely sure this is the first time in your life that you would be on a live program that is streaming across all social media platforms, just sharing a truth that you've kept for so many years.
Yes.
And so you went through this dreadful experience and thinking that, okay, you're young and you'd be supported. Instead, people begin to look down at you,
Yeah.
speak ill of you, etc., and probably made a lot of negative comments about your pregnancy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I became an example of what not to be. That don't be like her, don't do this, you'll end up like her, and it's just sad that that happened.
Mhm,
And I mean, somebody is seeing this and they're going through this today. And I
mhm,
want you to know, listen, email me. I can help you. It is not the end for you. That's just
mhm,
only the beginning. And it's a page in your story. Don't live it. Just there's a way to navigate it. I can help you. If it is that you are going through this, it's not the end. I can tell you, I felt to take my life. I wanted an abortion. Listen, And God bless my parents. My parents were were, were good parents. Listen, let me tell you, my father, God bless him, he said, "All right, listen, this is your situation. I'll do what you ask." So he said, "Okay." We got a doctor, and we went to the doctor and call, blow our horn, beep, and nobody came out. And then a neighbor came and she said, "Are you looking for the dog?" He said, "Yes." He flew out the day before. Believe me when I tell you that my father, God bless him. And so when that happened, it was confirmation for him, his praying soul, and for me that, listen, there's another way. Abortion is not the way. Yes, I said abortion because some people wouldn't will watch me and be like, "Oh my goodness, that's another taboo again." People watching, "There's an abortion." Yeah, I did try to do it because I didn't want to face the possibility that people would hate me, that people would look down on me. Guess what? And I still got it, and I'm still here. I
Amen.
got through it, and you can too.
I
Don't
want
let
to
anybody
share
else tell you.
I wanted to just share briefly about your mom, the statement your mom and dad made to you about your daughter, because I believe that there are mothers who would probably need to hear that. Because I say your parents are champions because they could have felt like, let's cover this up because I know young people whose parents were in leadership positions, whose parents took them to have abortions. Your parents didn't want you to do it, you wanted it. But then
Yes.
your mom said something to you that I think was so powerful and the steps that they took to help you. Can you briefly talk about that?
Yes. So when the abortion didn't go, the plan, my plan didn't go through, my father said, "Okay." So I got home, my mother and father sat me down and said, "Here is what is going to happen. We love you, and we don't know if this child that you are carrying is going to be the only grandchild that we are going to have. So here's what is going to happen. You are going to go back to school, and we are going to take care of our child. And when you are finished with your school, we will we will then assume responsibility for our grandchild." That is how they looked at it. Not 1 minute before. This is how it is going to work. And I wish that my parents, all parents were like my parents.
Mhm.
I didn't even know they had it in them. I didn't even know. But when the rubber hit the road, they said, "Listen, this is what is going to happen. Our child and then our grandchild. Our child first." And I
That's
thank
powerful.
God every single day that they did that. I mean, people will say, "Well, if you had to do it over again, will you?" I want my child.
Yes.
It's not a, yeah, it's not a, I want my child. It's not a, if I want her to come differently, but I want my child.
Yes.
I will not have it any other way.
Your parents are champions, and we just want to honor great parenting. We want to honor love. We want to honor support in them. And so excited. I'm so sad the time is going. I'm sure you're interfering with people's emotions right now. But listen, somebody put here, your story is a window into how my mom probably felt when she was pregnant with me out of wedlock.
Mhm.
People are saying thank you for sharing your story and stuff like that. But folks are appreciating you sharing. So, Ava, you came into the speaker program. You now have a message, and your message really rooted in that ostracism is not the end, it is just a page in your story. And you have a message now where you're going to be helping people to navigate not just religious ostracism, which is horrible, which is something that we don't touch on, that people are going through. Because I mean, I remember when I was young and in my teenage years, and we had our friends who got pregnant, out of wedlock. There'd be business meetings to disfellowship them and stuff. But one of the things I really like about my experience when I was growing up is that all of us came to these business meetings and we all stood by our friends. We never dropped our friends because of that. And every time I think back, I thank God that we were like that. But there are many young people who went through what you went through, who would have been judged by family by neighbors, by friends, by church. And so you dealt with religious ostracism, you dealt with it within the family circle, you dealt with it socially, etc., etc. You're here, your daughter is now in her 20s. I met a beautiful young woman,
Yes.
but you out of the speaker program right now, and you have that message to tell. So I want our viewers to know that if you're looking for somebody to address this taboo issue in your circle, whether it be in a church, a group, whatever, you have someone in Ava who would have been through it, who knows what it's like on every level to deal with ostracism and still be able to come out shining and do amazing things, because right now you're doing amazing things in your life. And so we're proud of you. And I want us to know that we can find you. So we still have 5 minutes, but I just want to make sure that we tell the folks where they can find you if they're looking for somebody to deal with the topic of religious and social ostracism. Where can they find you?
Absolutely. So you can, first of all, you could, if it is that you want to get in contact with me urgently, I'll give you my email. It's navigating.ostracism at gmail.com.
Okay. So
All
here
right.
is the email. All right.
Navigating.ostracism at gmail.com. It comes packing the punch immediately. So you can't forget it. It's bold there. So if it is even, but it is what it, yeah, that's the email. You email me and you let me know. Listen, could you get in contact with me? I want to speak with you. And I know there are people out there that are experiencing it and know what it is I'm talking about and have walked in my shoes or probably a similar story. There are parents out there who are thinking twice because of the family name. Don't put that before your kids or before your
Mm,
child. Understand that the turmoil that that person is going through right now, there's the shame. You're letting your parents down. You're
mhm,
letting your elders down because so many people would have expected better for you. All
mhm,
right? Don't forget all of that. Focus on what is best for you and what is best for the child. If it's a child that you're carrying, if it is it's some other situation where you are being ostracized for some reason or the other,
I think you might be frozen, but we're still here. Yes, we lost you for a quick sec, but we're happy that you're here. And again, you're like emotionally really dealing with us emotionally, Ava. I really really thank you for sharing. I thank you for also just braving it. You know, in doing something, I know it made you very uncomfortable, not just being here, but being in the program and just recognizing that this is what God is calling me to do. So there are many women out there with different stories. They have situations, they know that they probably have a powerful message in them. What would you say to this woman sitting on a fence? Because so many of them may delay like you did. And you're like, I wish I started before. And they're sitting there, and we have that speaker program available to really empower Christian women to speak out and to use their stories as a message to really transform lives. What would you say to a woman who's on the fence or who's just tiptoeing around making a decision?
and you know, when we did the speaker mentorship program, the cohort that we had, there were a lot of women who it was issues with probably a spouse, probably finance, probably them just thinking that they're not good enough to speak.
Mhm.
Anything that is a hindrance to doing the work that God has called you to do
Mm,
needs to be set aside. And the
mhm,
focus needs to be doing the work that He has called you to do. It is a
mhm,
difficult decision that you have to make. Just make it anyway. I mean, that is your purpose for being here. We were put here for a reason. Don't shy away from it. Don't be a Jonah. I was a Jonah for a little while. Trust me. Just come off the fence. It is not about the money, it's about your mindset. If it is you have that mindset, listen to me. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus.
Mhm.
And if it is that you have that as a start, just go from thereafter.
Mhm.
Put God first and you'll never come in second. If it is that you're on the fence about it, we can have a pray about it. But listen, just get into the program and he just puts the steps. He orders your steps. Don't listen. I promise you. When you see he starts to order it, you will want to know how it happened. You will look back, and when you keep in the prayer journal, you will look back and wonder, wait now, I was wondering about, and you would be so far from where you were that you wouldn't believe it. Trust me when I tell you. And if it is you're still procrastinating, Dr. Collins has some books that can help you. You read them and just get out from the seat that you're sitting in and move and just watch God do his work in you. I
Amen.
promise you, you will not regret it.
Amen. Thank you so much, Ava, for sharing. We're so excited that you came out here. I know that many are inspired. Remember, you can reach out to Ava if you wanted to speak at an event, if you want to contact her to work with her as a counselor, if you've been dealing with ostracism, because sometimes I think, even which is a whole other thing. So I'm sure we need to have you back here again, because even sometimes the children who were born in situations where parents are ostracized also have to deal with that kind of ostracism. And so we're excited about the work that you have been called to do, and the fact that you have answered yes to God, to doing it, to really transform lives, touching on a topic that is so taboo, but so necessary because of the judgmental environments with which we live and the way that we lack love and all that stuff. But Ava, we were grateful. Viewers, we thank you so much for joining us today. We want to invite you to join us for the rest of the week, every day at 12 to 12:30 EST, where you hear other inspiring stories of women who are using their voice to create change in the world. Bye, guys.